Let's go look at the cursed PvP zones while this loads in. All right. Greetings, adventurers. The foggy southwest reaches of Cutlass Keys are a lawless place where the Golden Creed curse of La Esperanza's treasure drives fortune hunters to murderous madness. Even the closest of companions are liable to lethally betray one another. Gather cursed doubloons and resources that you'll be able to escape before the other looters steal your spoils. Get the inside look here at the cursed mists. So this is going to be cool. All right, I'm actually really excited about this aspect, the free-for-all PvP zone, kind of in a way an extraction minigame, and again, optional PvP stuff, so we don't have to, like, if you're not into the PvP scene, like, no big freaking deal. I think you'll be okay. All right, let's see here. Massive murderous balls of allied players. Massive murder balls, excuse me. Any new feature this complicated is going to require a lot of playtesting. One second. We'll let the game music play while we read through this, and then I'll toss over there. Any new feature this complicated is going to require a lot of playtesting. During all of that testing, we discovered unexpected but entertaining issues. Early on, it was possible for PvE players to range attack or heal lawless free-for-all players and outside of the zone border. You can imagine the shenanigans that followed. We were delighted to find that many of the riskier features worked better than imagined, often with hilarious results. Trying to collide with other players isn't a bad strategy, but it's horrifyingly easy to accidentally catch friends in AoEs when the fighting gets hectic. I finally recall lots of laughing, yelling, and sometimes sincere apologies. But it also is a bittersweet treat to see a person who just murdered you pop up at the respawn point seconds after you, having perished to something like your bleed or smolder. Wait, we both lost that one, didn't we? I actually partnered up with someone to that way, and we rushed back to the border to see if our drop loot was still on the ground, and it wasn't. Someone luckier or smarter than us came along and across it, but hey, it's the friends that we made along the way, right? Now, I've seen people talking about just the PvP zone itself, like, is it fair that there's going to be this kind of crossover? Like, you can make alliances. I think it's great. Like, just here are the rules. It's free for all. If you want to make alliances, then that's fine too. I don't think we should be, kind of restricting too much of that in the game personally. And yes, this will be interesting because those alliances aren't bound by any faction, so they could easily see betrayal and so much more. So I think there's a lot of value to be had there. Anyway, it continues. We wanted to discourage massive murder balls of allied players, but there's always going to be collusion, but we don't want to make it easy. We implemented a new free-for-all system that eliminates all group, company, and faction ties. Even if you're fighting alongside your friends, it's very easy to accidentally harm them or kill one another. We've also implemented a new crowd control system that keeps players from lingering in large packs for too long. Lastly, loot chests functions like normal resources, and once looted, they are unavailable to all other players until the respawn. The unique thrill of PvP. We believe in the strength of our PvP combat, not to mention the unique thrill of PvP, and always look for more ways to engage both PvE and PvP players with exciting, enticing rewards. This time we wanted to deliver more free-form, always available PvP experiences rather than relying on instant schedules, events, and matchmaking queues. That desire to bring new forms of gameplay to Aeternum culminated in a voluntary free-for-all open world space, and there are extraction mechanics, extra rooms for those who prefer to sneak around, and a surplus of loot for every adventurer. Our hope is that it is easy to access bountiful spoils, to tempt even the staunchest of PvE players, and to take the dip in the pool. It's full of treasure after all. And really, it's its own animal as a high stakes, on the fly experience without strictly structured times or reward caps. Cutlass Keys Cursed Mist Zone is one of the 3 ways to acquire new 700 plus gear, and potentially the best option for solo players. There's also some fantastic named items and artifacts that reward the greater the risk. So the cursed treasure economy. All right. Building up a new currency with fresh ways to acquire resources and determining how many of those will lose with each death. And designing new rewards to spend them on is always a challenge. It is crucial that the ultimate success to the experience, no matter how much fun is from the gameplay standpoint, most players will need compelling incentives too. Despite the simultaneously update, improving, and adding in New World of the release of New World Aeternum, the team's done a great job at building gorgeous, unique sets of spaces, assembling a new free-for-all crowd population control system, and building Cutlass Key's new treasury, Cursed Treasure PvE PvP economy. Pillsbury, thank you so much for the follow over here on Twitch. And followed by Duck, thank you so much. We got a follow train rocking and rolling. Deadly Dad Gaming says, what's up, Ginger? I'm so glad that you've added in the mindful minute at the end of your videos. I've been doing that actually quite for a while, Deadly Dad. Pillsbury with the Prime sub. Thanks for spending those Bezos bucks, guys. Let me up our member goal. For every 25, I gift 5 back out to the community. So thank you for that support. If you guys have Bezos bucks, that's Amazon Prime. You do get a free Prime sub. You don't have to spend it on me, but you can always go drop it on somebody over on Twitch. That can, for a lot of these full-timer guys, that can mean the difference, you know, like a massive amount of difference. So thank you so much for that Prime sub. So so the mindful minute, the message of hope, like it actually started off last year, and I started putting it in, and I called it class dismissed. Like originally I was like, all right, you know, because I knew that some people aren't going to want to stick around for it, and I was doing over on Prime. And then eventually it just kind of evolved into like, what's like the real purpose of it. And for me, like somebody who is, you know, publicly Christian, tries to always be Christian. I think it's a goal to be one. You know, is always looking at like, you know, getting this message last year was like, be not afraid, be not afraid, be not afraid. And I was like, you know what? There's so much sadness going on right now. So much anxiety. I think a lot of guys are having. Not that, you know, women aren't, you know, experiencing it, but I can't speak to their experience. I can speak to the experience that I have as a man. And I was like, you know what? There's a couple of guys, unfortunately, who self-deleted this year. And it was just like, ooh, okay. Like, what words did they need to hear? What could have been said to truly, like, have them at least reconsider, to sit down and say, hey, I need help, you know? And often than not, when it comes down to it, the thing I find more than anything else, and you guys can let me know if I'm way off base here, but the thing I find more than anything else is belief is kind of the root of the problem. If you believe that life will be forever miserable and you'll forever feel this way, it becomes a truth, even though it isn't true. Does that make sense? Where it's like, because you constantly tell yourself, and we see this happen a lot, because while it's important to talk about our issues, it's also important not to dwell on the things that those thorns in our side that hurt us time and time again, right? It's because if we just reminisce on just the negative, we reinforce just the negative, and it's so easy to see how we miss out on the positive, the things in our lives that are great. And I'm Oki. Thanks so much for the follow. We got a little choo-choo follow train going on over here today over on Twitch. Thank you guys. And so belief is, I think, the root of it, where it's like, if you believe that you are going to win, like, you know, even though you fail, you'll keep getting back up to the bat, and you'll keep going and taking those swings, and hopefully it kind of pays off for you in the long run. And I believe it will. Like, that's just where I come from, is because I know that, like, I've been in some dark places and had, you know, my struggles, and I've talked about that, and just the amount of work kind of fighting for your health. And that's why I'm very big on both, not just the mental health aspect, but the physical and the spiritual health aspect as something that makes us, you know, complete in this regards. Just some dude says, cheers to you. Thank you guys. Just some dude also says, kind of excited for this build. I build my right sticky to play with my console account, downloaded in PC, and everything is set to 240 hertz. I don't think I'll be touching the console now. It runs beautiful on PC, so I'm definitely going to be sticking with the PC version, but I will be playing on console. and more. So it's gonna be great. Anyway, that mini message of hope break. Let's see here. Do I have let's see if I've got like there's an art asset, something I want to talk to you guys about in terms of the message of hope. Let me see if I can find it. I was thinking about putting this in a video. Let's see here. Notifications. And let me scroll. I think it's such a powerful kind of mindset, especially speaking to kind of men. And then what we'll do is we'll oh yeah, Metaphor. Looking forward to that. Let's see here. Saw yesterday, like people were saying like Metaphor's woke, and I was like, I have no, like, come on guys, like this is getting absurd. Everything cannot be that. Let's see here, scrolling. I know this is so entertaining. Scrolling a feed that y'all can't see. I don't know why it's also taking like a little bit, so we'll see if I can find it. If I can't, no big deal. We'll just do it. I'll find it for a future video. Scrolling. Maybe this is it. Let's see if it loads up the image. I don't know why. X is having a problem today. No, not that one. That's funny though. $20 from Kaz. Whoa, dude. I have that even. Kaz, man. Holy crap, dude. Thank you so much. Kaz dropping a 20 spot over on YouTube. Long time no chat. Can't wait to jump into the new world again. Dude, the new world is a great way. It's the new. The new. Why is it? Yeah, what? Man, my thing is not loading up in a way that I wanted. All right, well, just look forward to. Let's see here. I don't know why this is not loading. Just hit a refresh. Maybe that will. Well, this is similar, so let me just go ahead and pull this up. Let's see here. Save image. Social. Save. Open. All right, so we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this at the end. Thank you, Kaz, for that, man. Absolutely mind-blowing. Ignator with a prime sub with a resub in this case, and a D with a follow. That pushes up to 5 members on the day, guys. Thank you so much. Whether it's over on Twitch or on YouTube, guys, any and all, super awesome support. You know what we'll do is, because Kaz dropped such a generous gift, we'll also count that as a thing of support in this case, just because you guys are the best. But in this case, a harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a dangerous man who has that under control. And this is something where one of the talks that I want to give to you guys in a future message of hope is like, how do we prepare ourselves as men to be dangerous men, but also at the same time to know that it's important that we control that aspect of our lives. You know, that innate sense that yes, we are powerful, or we should be powerful. And I want you guys to kind of, in a way, get your power back. That's going to feed your confidence, and it starts with belief, and it starts with obviously a good, healthy focus in on your physical bodies. And this could be driven from food. This can be driven from sleep. This can be driven from exercise. These are all like really good things, and we all know deep down that we need to do those things, if we're being honest. But we never tend to put them as a priority in our lives. And that's something that, like, within gaming, I can try to use gaming as that reward for doing the thing, swallowing the frog, so to speak. There's another version of this that's what we're going to be talking about as well. I think it's a really, really good. Anyway, random insert message of hope to the video. Let's continue on our little quest here. So the revamped Cutlass keys. There was a few zones in the game thought we could benefit from the updates, as well as serve as a proving ground for the new types of gameplay. Cutlass keys, Morningdale Restless Swords, or arguably even Reekwater. Cutlass keys pirate theme tied in wonderfully with our new game mechanics. Specifically valuable greed curse treasure that must be carried away from the zone and cleansing before the curse to drive even the fastest of friends to paranoia and possibly murder. They gave us the opportunity to add new varieties of Lost Pirates, inspired by the infamous Ottoman Corsairs and the Barbary Coast, and we crafted new gorgeous points of interest for exploration, combat, and loot. Beyond the PvP zone, these gold-cursed Lost took over the formerly ancient and corrupted parts of Cutlass Keys, providing a variety of new PvE quests as well. That looks freaking cool, where they basically, it's kind of like Midas's touch. It's kind of turned them slightly into gold there. We knew that we had to significantly expand the size of the zone in order to allow hundreds of players to fight without server boundary issues. Our solution was to implement a new population cap system that limits the zone's player count to something fun for both players to experience and for performance. I think that's kind of smart, because at some point, like, it will make it where it's like maybe you have people waiting on the outside until space opens up. We'll see how that works. We'll see. Bold strategy. We'll see if it works out for him. In the future, the Cursed Mist. This free-for-all PvP zone is a bit of an experiment, so based on how players engage with it and experience it, we were going to see how it evolves going forward. Right now, players can look forward to new rewards after release. We'll also keep an eye on the Cursed Mist to tune what players they adore the most. We hope that everyone has as much fun playing in the Cursed Mist on October the 15th as we did building it and playtesting it. So check out major updates as well as the Season of Opportunity. This is something that I'm actually very excited for participating in. PvP tends to take a little bit lower priority, namely because that's just the way it is. But I'm really happy to see where it goes from here. Let's see here. 1 second. All right, that's not directed at me. There we go. I just had an email come in. Dangerous equals power. Very important note here, especially this quote is often with physical powers confused, but also applies to the power in work, performance reviews, management, security, bouncers, state policy, law, and positions. Yeah, power is going to be different for everybody, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you're physically, like a 7-foot tall monster, but it does mean that essentially, like, I think it means to me also having your house in order, because one of the things that I think steals your power, and I'll bring this up here as a part of the discussion, one of the things I think that steals your power is when you over leverage yourself. I think that's why it's so fascinating to see, because there's so much money spent on marketing to try and get you in debt, to try and keep you always kind of with that noose like tied around your neck and never knowing when it's going to get pulled. And so that's one of the things that I feel that I hope more and more people wake up to, is that freedom, is it can be scary, right? Because it's like there's a lot of things I have to say no to, but that means that later in life I can say yes to. When I sit down, like my dad was like, when are you taking the kids to Disney World? The kids are getting, Maddie's 10 now. And we've been saving for Disney World. And right now we've saved about $2,000 for a Disney trip. And that's not enough, especially with the size family we have with 6 kids. That's going to be kind of a big jump, but we're going to save for it and we're going to pay for it in cash. And it's going to be a great vacation when that day does come. But he was kind of worried. He's like, you got to get those memories. And it's like, with all due respect, I'm saying no now, so that when my kids want to go to Disney, that's something that I can say, yeah, we got that covered, because we managed our money the way that it's meant to be managed. We're not living outside of our means. We don't owe anybody any money, which allows us to be a little bit more selective in terms of what we decide to do with it. W9 says, honestly, AGS should just make a PvP only server and turn off the lame aim assist for the PvE servers. Dude, I would 100% support that. 100% support that. I think that would be really awesome to see in the game. I've long advocated for special rule servers for these MMOs, specifically because I think there's a lot of value to be had there. I think I would love to see it in especially the typical theme park, where a lot of people want that more social experience, but theme park and solo oriented play. Like, I would say make not just like a free-for-all PvP server you know, for example, but make like a hardcore server that like on PvE and all of it, that you end up having, you know, you have so much more to kind of offer. See if it loads.